Back in February, before the world shut down due to the current global pandemic, it was reported that Sam Raimi was in talks to replace Scott Derrickson's role as director for Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. This was joyous news throughout the Marvel community, with the already most anticipated Phase 4 MCU film possibly being directed by the same man who brought us 3 classic Spider-Man films, along with the Evil Dead horror franchise making the reportedly scary Doctor Strange 2 film a perfect fit for Sam Raimi. Months later from that initial news, and about a week ago from the time of making this video, it was finally confirmed by Sam Raimi himself that he would be directing Doctor Strange 2. In an interview with ComingSoon.net, Raimi himself confirmed that he would be directing the upcoming MCU film, with his quote being, "I loved Doctor Strange as a kid, but he was always after Spider-Man and Batman for me. He was probably at number 5 for me of great comic book characters. He was so original, but when we had that moment in Spider-Man 2, I had no idea that we would ever be making a Doctor Strange movie. So it was really funny to me that coincidentally that line was in the movie. I gotta say, I wish we had the foresight to know that I was going to be involved in the project." And of course, we all know the Doctor Strange Easter egg in Spider-Man 2 when Hoffman suggests Doctor Strange as the Daily Bugle's name for Otto Octavius to Jameson, which has left room for discussion that the upcoming Doctor Strange film could or should include a cameo from Raimi's Spider-Man, Tobey Maguire, the real Spider-Man. Now, to be honest, I think without Raimi's involvement with this project, this would still be something the fans are requesting or throwing around the idea of. The film has multiverse in the title, and no other character is more associated with the multiverse in the world of Marvel than Spider-Man. From a Spider-Verse film to multiple similar events in the comics, it's safe to say the multiverse is Spider-Man's territory in the world of Marvel. I can name 5 different Spider-Men off the top of my head. I can't think of any other Marvel character with as many alternate versions as Spider-Man. And when it comes to the films, the next best thing besides an animated feature would be a live-action Spider-Verse consisting of all 3 Spider-Man actors, and what better way to set that up than through Raimi's Doctor Strange? The idea of a multiverse was even teased in Far From Home. Other than fans asking for a live-action Spider-Verse to be set up through this film, the idea of Tobey Maguire returning to Marvel films even for less than a minute is something people want to see. He's without a doubt the most popular Spider-Man and the one a majority of fans, including myself, grew up with, so naturally people are going to talk about a potential return even if it's just a cameo in this film. In my opinion, the best way for Maguire to make a cameo in this film that doesn't set up any future film involving the actor would be through a scene where the audience gets to look at the many different universes through portals, or even a post-credits surprise looking into another universe. Jameson's reveal in Far From Home is without a doubt the best MCU post-credits scene since the Avengers, and just imagine the audience reaction seeing Tobey Maguire in a Marvel film for the first time in over 10 years. Sucks to the people who still leave early. I've heard talk about how Maguire should cameo as a pizza delivery man in this film, but come on guys, this guy is in his 40s with a beard and a proper build. Give him a decent cameo and not one from an 80s adult film. Personally, I have no idea what his role or cameo should be, but making him Spider-Man or Peter Parker would be a bit tricky considering the deal between Marvel and Sony and how much continuity would have to remain in place for something like that to work. If Maguire were to make a cameo as Peter Parker Spider-Man, then people are going to want to see more of that, and an eventual crossover with Holland. A Spider-Verse film depends heavily on the continuity between Marvel and Sony, who've hopefully established a new plan with the deal in place to keep Spider-Man in the MCU. However, even if Tobey Maguire doesn't make an appearance in this film, whether through an Easter egg cameo or an eventual film setup, we should expect some things from Raimi's franchise to carry over that are signature elements in his films. The classic Delta 88, or what you might know as Uncle Ben's car, is a standard in Raimi films, and it's in basically every film he's been involved in. Along with that, I'd expect a cameo from Bruce Campbell before I expect one from Tobey Maguire in this film. Campbell has cameoed in multiple Raimi films. It wasn't just a Spider-Man thing. Even Ted Raimi, who played Hoffman throughout the Spider-Man films, has played other roles in different Raimi projects. Needless to say, I'd expect cameos from Ted Raimi, Uncle Ben's car, and Bruce Campbell before I expect one from Tobey Maguire. And that's not to say a Maguire cameo can't happen. In a multiverse, anything is possible, and I'm more than confident Marvel knows what the people want. Just look at the demand for the Raimi suit in Spider-Man PS4. Mentioned earlier, the idea of a multiverse has been explored and teased recently in Spider-Man cinema, with the talks of a Madam Web film being in development, whose most popular story involves the multiverse, and with Kevin Feige mentioning that Tom Holland can travel between cinematic worlds, there's no need to rule out the possibility of a multiverse Spider-Man film. So let me know what you guys think of this. Do you think Tobey Maguire will cameo in Doctor Strange 2? Why or why not? And if yes, to what extent? Will it be a small cameo or something more? Also, given that Bruce Campbell, Ted Raimi, and the Delta are signature marks in Raimi films, would you expect them to appear in Doctor Strange 2? Let me know in the comments below. thanks for watching. Be sure to subscribe, follow my social medias, hit that like button, and I will see you guys again in my next video.